repeat your name to me?
Hi, my name is Lynn Chadwick. I'm a lifetime Tacoma resident. And so I would like to talk about an incident that happened yesterday at Tolleson Plaza. A group of us gathered for a free speech event at Tolleson Plaza, the content of which is not relevant to this discussion. Freedom of speech is the right of a person to articulate opinions and ideas without interference or retaliation from the government. The Supreme Court requires the government to provide substantial justification for the interference with the right to free speech, where it attempts to regulate the content of that speech. Our event was met with substantial, violent, harassing, intimidating action, the vast majority of which were Tacoma School of the Arts students and their principal. This is unacceptable, completely unacceptable. My friend was assaulted, her hand is broken. My other friend had a full water bottle thrown in her face. People were shouted at. I was followed down the street by a pack of no less than a dozen angry high school students jeering at me, screaming at me, lunging for me, and threatening me. I could not go in my car. I had to duck into a nearby pizza place, order a Coke, and try to bore them to death. And thankfully, their security officer told them to leave, at which point they did. So this is unacceptable.
Don't forget that you mace children.
Excuse me, it's my turn to talk right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please honor the process.
Thank you. Please honor the process. Okay. So we were not there to protest anyone. We were there to exercise our right of free speech, upon which we have a constitutional right to gather in a public forum and exercise our right to speech. No one has to like it. The students of the Tacoma School of the Arts do not have to agree with us. We don't particularly care whether they agree with us, but they are not allowed to come and harass us. They did not need to be there. I want to know why public school students, children, they're not adults, these are children. Why were they allowed to leave school and attend a potentially violent event? I want to know that. I need an answer. And I want to know why the principal was there looking on. And I want to know if their parents were notified that they were allowed to come to a potentially violent event without their parents probably even being aware.
They brought the violence.
Excuse me, it's not.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, let's just
Okay.
let one person at a time talk. Anyway, those students should not have been there during the school hour by any means.
Thank you. That is.
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not done because
Well,
I was
yeah.
harassed and intimidated.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
We have 3 minutes per person. Thank you.
I may also have to remind, this is another board policy, I'm going to comment that, and obviously I hope that this doesn't go direction, but the board does have the authority to refuse to accept or to terminate public comment period if it renders a board meeting unfeasible because of disorderly conduct, hopefully.
So before we go on, just
My mic is muted. Sorry, my mic is muted. I didn't realize. Okay, I'm gonna catch this guy. Hold on, let's see what he's gonna say.
yes, all yes.
Sorry, sir.
Before you start the clock, I'd like to ask if it's okay for a motion to receive 2 additional minutes. I understand that the board can shorten it. Can we allot 2 extra minutes?
We usually don't. If everyone has 3 minutes, then everyone has 3 minutes, but I'm not sure what.
I'm speaking on a school shooting in Tacoma.
I want 2 extra
So I understand that it may be unusual, but I'm requesting that.
Well, let's just see if you can get it through in 3 minutes.
Understood.
And can you, before you start the time, can you also repeat your name again?
Yes, my name is Chris Dodson.
Please, Mr. Johnson.
So I'm speaking on a shooting at Stafford Elementary on September 29th. I'm a parent of a student in kindergarten there. I found it to be a major issue that no parents were notified for an hour and 13 minutes until after the shooting. Then when it was portrayed to us, it was portrayed that it was an off-property shooting. I have pictures.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt this guy to talk to you. So I don't think we have to hear everyone who's going, but I wanted to drop in and say hi to everyone who is in the stream and let you know what is going on. So right now, there are a number of women gathered at the Tacoma School of the Arts school board meeting. They will be speaking about the events that went down yesterday in Tacoma at Tolson Plaza, where women were, I mean, I think you, those of you who've seen the stream, Lear Keith was nearly tackled. If I had not blocked, I was actually, I got like checked in my chest. April Morrow has her hand practically broken. Women had bottles thrown at us. So women suffered violence, and the violence was coming both from adult men who were Antifa as well as from the students themselves. So a number of women decided to gather to, the principal was addressed, by the way, by Kelly J. Keene. Kelly Jean called out the principal of the school for allowing this to happen and said, you know, when are you going to call your students back to class? He basically said, you know, I have no control over what these students do. Probably that is one of the main issues that's happening. These kids have no boundaries, no control. No one is giving them the structure that they require, so they're acting out. But ultimately, women have now gathered at the school board meeting in order to give their feedback and to talk about what's going on. So so we are bearing witness. Yeah, April Morrow had her hand seriously injured. I don't know. Let's see. Looks like Lynn is leaving. Yeah, there were some other serious injuries as well. Okay, Lynn is going to come and talk to us outside, it looks like. I don't know. Maybe she is. I can't tell. Maybe she can hear me in the chat. That's possible. It was a very intense day yesterday. It was a really, I think in a lot of ways, of course, it was a very successful event. It was successful in the fact that we showed up, we spoke, many of us spoke, but not everyone had a chance to speak. Not everyone had a chance to say what they wanted to say. There were many more women who wanted to speak, who didn't have an opportunity to speak. Let's see, I won't. Okay. So I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna be quiet.
This process here. I will just mention I'm a graduate of a high school in Tacoma, and I'm here because I attended an event at Tolson Plaza. I was a civic leader in our community. I came because I've been paying attention to a speaker in London for a couple of years who organized grassroots speakers corner. They went throughout the United Kingdom, and women gathered, mostly women, in a public space to articulate their concerns in their community. The leader, Kelly J. Keene, came at her expense and is on a national tour of the United States. It's called Let Women Speak USA. She is making a documentary. The filmmaker was here. And I showed up because it's Tacoma, because I care about women's rights and children. I'm a former foster mother and raised 2 children that are now taxpayers. I have siblings that are teachers, so at my Christmas table, I have 100 years of accredited teacher conversation at the Christmas table. It's rich. I really respect this school district. I love the arts. I was most recently, until COVID ended, my most recent career fundraising for the arts. I feel my peers have been teachers at your school. I came to events 20 years ago to support him in his classroom. I came yesterday, and what I wanted to say was we were outnumbered. There were 40 of us and possibly 200 of them. Our speaker asked she saw the youth come, and she said it was looking like it wasn't a safe environment, that it looked, she was getting a death threat. This is filmed. So someone in her face is threatening her, and she's saying, this isn't safe for these kids, but there was, not an opportunity. The principal indicated, not naming, that it was, he would be in a worse position if he tried to shut them down. And I understand that. I was an activist in my senior year of high school, and as the Girls Club president, we got jeans for girls in school. We got to wear pants in 1971. But what I wanted to talk about was my feelings that I discussed with my brother, who's an educator and a football coach in this community, how scared I was when we were surrounded, and we made a circle around our speaker, and there were 2 and 3 people behind me who were yelling, and I have never been called more times in my life in one day. I was bullied and harassed.
Ma'am, thank you, that's your 3
Okay.
minutes.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
I didn't say I lost my free speech rights. Yeah, just 1 second before you start.
No problem, I'm short, I always have to adjust.
Just the way, there you go. We had a little technical difficulty.
No problem.
And I'm sorry, can you also repeat your name before you go again?
Yes, ma'am, shall I do that now?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Dawn Land. And shall I begin? Okay,
Perfect.
all right. Go home. You're not wanted here. Nobody likes you. If phrases like these were said to someone who was disabled or someone of a racial minority, the anti-bullying policies of Tacoma Public Schools would certainly ensure that the aggressor faced repercussions. But yesterday, all of this and more was said to me and a group of women holding a peaceful free speech rally in Tolleson Plaza. We were yelled at, spit on, had projectiles thrown at us, shouted down, and were physically attacked. My friend April had her hand smashed and broken as someone from the mob violently ripped her cell phone from her and threw it. As we left the plaza, the mob of aggressors followed us, spitting, jeering, threatening, harassing, doing their best to terrorize us. And the majority of these assailants are students from the Tacoma School of Performing Arts. And I know this because the school principal made his way through the jeering mob of students from his school and spoke with me personally. He asked if our group could end our free speech rally at 1 p.m. so his students would go back to class after lunch. I asked him, will they go back to class? The principal assured me his students would go back to class. Because the mob was continuing to harass and attack us, even threatening to kill, and there was no police to protect us, we did end our rally about 1 p.m., a full hour before we intended. And of course, our assailants did not go back to class like the delusional principal assured me. I'm addressing this board today to make sure that you understand. I expect these students to face consequences. Some of them deserve to be arrested for their crimes, but all of them deserve to be dealt tough consequences for their bullying, their harassment, and their violence against a group of women peacefully assembling. The principal saw his students with his own eyes, but his school will have a record of every student who did not return to class in the afternoon attendance records. As a graduate of Mount Tacoma High School, I'm a product of Tacoma Public Schools, and this abhorrent behavior by these students is why I homeschool my kids. I can only conclude that Tacoma Public Schools now teaches their students to bully everyone they disagree with. If these students face no consequences, this will only confirm that Tacoma Public Schools groom kids to hate. Every single person on this board ought to be appalled and deeply ashamed at what happened in Tolleson Plaza yesterday. Thank you.
That's where we just have the first name, Maddie.
She printed up copies for all.
One second, please, thank you.
Hello, my name is Maddie. I'm also a local, and I was also in the events at the plaza. And I want to give you a heads up that I will be sending an email with video footage and the students that we have been able to identify through social media posts that they have made. And you will be receiving that from my name. And I understand students wanting to let students have the experience of like a protest and being part of that. And like, even though I may have some gray hairs, I wasn't in high school. I was in high school not that long ago. And I was also very politically active. There was a student among all the other students who was really interested in having a discussion. They really wanted to talk about it and to understand. And that is welcome. And I feel bad for him because he was denied that. He was denied an actual learning opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to teach about civil discussion. It was a very stressful experience to be part of that and to see the faces of just, teens with this righteous anger that directed straight at you. I had it on video of the spitting, of students trying to take signs. And what we're asking for is just a bit of accountability, especially towards the adult in the room. And we appreciate your time. I know I'm a little early, but thank you.
Next speaker is Angie May.
Hello. I was a teacher in Tacoma. I've been a special education teacher for 10 years. And first I'd like to say that I love to see that social emotional learning curriculum going down in the schools. I can tell you firsthand that when I made social emotional learning the center of my self-contained classroom, learning flourished. Students flourished. It changed everything. And I'd also like to just make a comment that I'm really proud of the students that stood up to hate speech at Tolleson Plaza yesterday. As a longtime advocate for disability rights, transgender people are 7 times more likely to be autistic, and autistic people are 7 times more likely to be trans. So in Tacoma's mission.
Okay, ladies, can you hear me when I'm talking at this volume, by the way? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Lynn, I can't hear.
that this 57-year-old
I don't-
disabled woman was hurt.
Can you hear me when I'm
That is
talking?
sadistic.
Can you hear me? Oh, friends, I'm so sorry.
Ma'am, it's the end of public comment. Thank you.
The only other thing I'll point out is, again, the public comment period isn't something that sort of the rules are made up as we go. It's governed by a board policy, it's backed up by the Open Public Meetings Act. So you might, as a commenter, see that the board isn't commenting between every comment. That's, again, not a thing they're choosing to do. The board policy governs this period. And to follow up as necessary with staff is typically the follow-up after comment.
Thank you. All right, thank you for everyone who came today to speak. We appreciate hearing from you. And so I understand too that we also have the second option we have to communicate with the board is written comment. And do we have any written comment for today?
Not tonight.
Okay, so no more written comment. So the public speaking portion is now over. Thank you everyone for coming. Okay.
So we'll see if these ladies go outside to say anything. I'm so sorry I missed April's speech. So, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm sorry that I missed April's speech because she sort of was the main event in a sense. But what I'm going to do is tomorrow, I understand what mistake I made because you couldn't hear because I didn't put myself in the stream. So even though I was sharing my screen, you couldn't hear the audio because I had to have my little icon in the stream for you guys to hear it. So I'm really sorry about that. But April was speaking about her hurt hand. She was saying that, she was not concerned with students being there until they started having such violent reactions. But what I'll do, because the school board records itself. Oh, thank you so much, Aquamarina. Thank you so much. And thank you, Spiky Turf, earlier. I really appreciate it. So it looks like these ladies, maybe they'll speak with us because they are, they're headed outside. But what I'm going to do, I can kind of say that April spoke about her hand. She spoke about the attacks that were happening on her. She was very calm. You could see her demeanor. But tomorrow I will record it off of their live stream and I'll put up April's speech separately. So I'll get that separately up there so that everyone will be able to see it, because I think these women are really brave. First of all, we had a very stressful day yesterday, and then all of these women went back out tonight in order to stand up at that school board. And I also really want to underline, I don't know if you all were listening when Maddie Watkins was speaking, but she was saying, the principal missed an opportunity. The principal missed an opportunity to help his students. Oh, Leslie, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The principal missed an opportunity to teach his students how to have a civil conversation and how to have a civil debate. So it's really very upsetting what he let go by. And Lynn, I don't know if you can hear me, but you guys, I would talk to you on camera if you want. I don't know if she can hear me or not. Her mic, let me see. Oh, she muted her mic. I can't unmute her mic. But all of these women were so brave in standing up. Yesterday was very stressful. Yes, you can still write in and call the school and write the principal. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I will get you an email. Let's see here. School board meeting. Watch live. Let's see. Let's see here. Attend a meeting. I'm going to get an email for you. Here we go. I got it. So if you would like to send a comment to the board, here it is. You can do it right here. I'm going to put that up for everyone to see. I'm going to leave that up for a little bit and you can write it down. Hey, Ella, it's so good to see you. You did so great yesterday. I really also, I want to shout out Jay Thomas and Ella Androphobia and everything that they did yesterday. It was so, I felt so good having them in-house in the studio. Obviously I couldn't do it because I was speaking, and Kay Yang couldn't do it because unfortunately she had another event. So let's, no, Lynn is still muted. Yeah, I know that those youth were really crazy. And it was really hard to hear one another. I felt like I shouted my whole speech because it was really, I couldn't hear myself. So I didn't know how loud I had to be. But it's funny when I watched it today, I was like, oh, you're really screaming. I had to laugh at myself a little bit. But I think I was heard. And I think I got my point across. And I do want to thank everyone for being in the stream yesterday because, as I said during the Portland event, here's the thing. Those of us who do stand up, like I haven't, this was the first event that I was able to make it to. I didn't make it to LA. I didn't make it to San Francisco. I wasn't in Portland. But what I can do is, we can witness. So even if we can't be there in person, what we can do for one another when we aren't able to make it in person is we can witness one another. And I think it's a really important part of the story that we're creating. And thank you so much, Burnout Queen. I really appreciate it so much. And just so you guys know, whatever your whatever support people are giving, I really appreciate it because also it goes directly back into the activism. So I really appreciate that. And I want you to know I'm helping to plan. So I plan to be in New York and Chicago. I'm not Chicago, New York and Philly. Chicago is coming up. But I plan to be in those next places, and I'm planning on having I'm trying to get a bit more equipment. So besides the camera that I'm streaming, I want a body cam. So that's one of the things that I hope to get to take these live streams up to the next level. And I also hope to get a gimbal. So that's a device so that you can walk and move and your camera adjusts for you and keeps a steady picture. So that's another thing I want. And I'm sorry, I didn't get the sound as perfect as I wanted to. I had a device that was going to amplify the sound and make it better. But I didn't get it to work. I didn't do enough troubleshooting. So I'll have that troubleshooting done as well for the next time I'm live. Thank you, Jennifer, so much. I appreciate it so much. And thank you, Pistolet Flower, so much. VF555, by the way, it was so great talking to you in the live stream the other day. Yeah, I do want Verdi to do a picture of me. I would love her. I was just on A Womb with a View with her. She was really fun to speak with. Carrie, I would love to be in Chicago, of course, but I am going to be live streaming the Chicago event. I am in touch with the organizers of Chicago. They have nice equipment that they also got for their event. And Chicago, just so everyone knows, Chicago, well, yes, I can say this. Chicago has a plan. That's what I'm going to say. Chicago has a plan in place. And I won't announce more because I am not sure what I should quite say. I wanted to say a thing, but Chicago has a good plan for how they are. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm very humbled. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kai, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. I'm like very humbled. I'm blushing. Wow. Thank you. I'm speechless. Portland is passed. So I didn't show up in Portland in person. But I did live stream it. It got canceled. So I didn't end up coming, but women ended up doing an event in Portland. They ended up doing an event in Portland outside of Kelly J. Keene's tour. They bravely stood up. They also had a plan. Unfortunately, they did get pied in the face. I'm going to remove her from the stream. We'll see if she comes back. I'll put her back on the screen. If they come back to speak with us, I'll put her in. But I forgot what I was saying. I'm still a little humbled. I'm still a little speechless. Let me collect my thoughts for a second. So women in Portland were also attacked, and I want to observe for everyone, and I think that we can see what happens is their side tells on itself. You know, we show up. We want to have a peaceful protest. We want to have a really good event. And they show up and you know, attack women. They tell on themselves. They tell on themselves. They are telling a story with their actions. And what we're doing is we are documenting it. Yeah, they got whipped cream thrown on them in Portland. And the woman who got it, they didn't just get pies thrown on them. She got shoved to the ground. Now, we don't do it on private property because it is meant to be a celebration of our public right to assemble and have free speech. So we do events in private. You know, we do events that are conferences. We do events where we gather together in private, but really the point of gathering in the public square, in the public arena, is to be public, to have practice free speech in public, you know. And it's really upsetting that we now apparently live at a time where women are not allowed to have public free speech. You know, that's insane, where men feel emboldened to attack women in public. They feel bold enough that is not a problem for them. No, I don't think we said, did I say the word protesting? I hope I didn't. No, of course, we're not protesting. We're having a public free speech event. It's not a protest, it's a free speech. But it is a public recognition of our dissent. So in what we are saying we do not consent to the conditions that you are inflicting upon us. We don't consent to these conditions. Oh my goodness. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Oh, good. Maddie was going to call. Let's see. Maddie was calling. I'm going to call her back. Maddie was there. Jennifer, you're so good. Mwah, 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 mwah. I'm going to see if we're going to get a hold of her. Maybe not. So Maddie was there at the event. I'm calling her back if she answers my phone call, but she may not. We'll see. She may not. You guys are so great. Oh, here we go. Hey, hey, Maddie, how are you? You're live.
Awesome. Oh. Leaving was very stressful. They followed us out.
They followed you out?
Yeah, and they stood behind our vehicles, you know, taking video of license plates.
They took pictures of your license plates? Can you guys hear this? Oh my gosh.
Or video of our vehicles, video of the license plates.
Wow.
So we just kind of had to run to our vehicles and try to get out of there as fast as possible. Now I'm just like looking behind me, making sure nobody's following me.
Oh my God. Drive safely. Drive so safely.
Yeah. I'm out of gas.
Oh no.
I did this to myself, but I just wanted to update you on just that last part of what happened. But I'm pretty confident everybody got out safely.
Was it kids who were taking the pictures, or was
No, it was a grown ass man, and then
grown
that
men
woman who spoke. No, it was one man for sure, and then the other woman who spoke about before me.
Wow.
If there's somebody else, I didn't see him, but it was 2 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so we all said we're local, so it's
Oh my
probably
God.
just to intimidate us, or if they see our vehicles around.
That's just so yeah. What a freaking intimidation tactic.
Yeah, and especially whenever one of them just mentioned that they are disabled and in pain. They're like, let's harass them on their way out.
I know.
Well, they were making comments the entire time behind us that they were glad that it was good that April was injured, that it was sorry, I'm just making sure, and just making terrible comments about all the women talking. So they don't care.
It's so sick. And the principal condones it. I mean, the principal condoned violence against women. And okay, Maddie, I loved your point. Your point was so great. Like, this was an opportunity for civil discussion.
Yeah, no, there was a lesson to be had there, and they blew it. Like I said, that one kid, he's in the picture with like the red sweatshirt, like in like that on the news article that's kind of going around.
Yeah.
He really wanted to talk about it. And I kept trying to talk to him, but there were people yelling around him, and he was just, you could tell he was really frustrated. And that's the healthy thing to encourage. Like, it's okay. Like, you want to, and them being in their meeting talking about diversity, and like, you want diversity, you got to include diversity of thought.
Yeah. Yep.
And it seemed like the board was very sympathetic. I was talking to the woman in the middle.
Yeah.
And she was nodding and like, was making the facial express, especially when it came to spitting. And whenever I was like, I have connected it to specific students, she was like, good. So I think, I'm hoping that something might come of that.
Yeah. So there's ladies in the chat, there has been there's been a lot of press about this. If you go to my timeline on Twitter, if anyone follows me on Twitter, I have a bunch of I do have a bunch of press that you can see. Yeah, I do. And Lynn, I do want to talk to April if you're there. If Lynn can hear me.
Oh, are you talking through my phone?
Yeah, I'm talking to her on the yeah, I'm talking, she's on the you're not with them?
No, I came in my own vehicle.
Okay, good. Okay, Maddie, I'm gonna let you go so that I can talk to April. Okay, go get gas. All right, bye, sister. Okay, I was just talking to Maddie Watkins. How are you ladies doing?
I'm pretty shook.
Maddie just told me that they were following you to your car.
They did. They're just trying to intimidate us.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it really is. For somebody to sit there and clap and be happy and excited that somebody that is harmed. I just don't understand that. I don't want any of us harmed. No one on their side, no one on ours. I don't want anyone harmed.
It's just astounding. And I don't understand how the educators sat there, and this is what they are literally teaching this to their students by condoning it.
Yes, really, that is what they're doing. And I think Dawn made a really good point of that. And I think that Maddie made a really good point that there were students that were actually interested in what we had to say, and because of the
Oh, I lost you. Well, okay, I got you back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the phone rang.
My phone rang.
Amy, sorry.
Okay.
What I was saying is that I really appreciated Maddie's comment, pointing out that there were students there that actually were interested and wanted to hear what we were there to talk about. And because it was shut down, a learning experience, was taken away from students.
I want to say something too.
Yeah, I'm astounded at the reception that you got. Were any of them receptive to what you were saying?
I think that the woman that was in the middle, the older woman, she had a lot of empathy on her face, and she was I could tell she was really shocked to hear about the men being inside WCCW. I think that she was pretty shocked to hear that, I was there as a journalist.
Yeah.
And I was, assaulted and thrown to the ground and had my hand broken. I think that she felt pretty bad about all of that.
Yeah. I want to say something really quick.
Lynn's wanting to chime in here.
Great.
Hey, everybody. Can you?
Hey, Lynn.
Oh my gosh, we don't have the camera turned around. Okay, you're getting a great view of Tacoma.
Oh,
I didn't know if I didn't mention that to you because I didn't know if what you wanted, because I know you're driving. So I just
I can't do this right now, but I would like to say to all of the listeners, I would urge you to do two things. Okay, these are things that we can do. We can all do this. Okay, write to the Tacoma School Board. Write to them. Okay, we'll get the address. We'll find out who you can talk to. The Tacoma School Board.
I put up the email address right now.
Yes, please email the Tacoma School Board with your concerns. They need an avalanche of complaints. The next thing we can do is, there was a very vitriolic article written by a man named Craig Saylor at the Tacoma News Tribune. And he mischaracterized this event greatly, and of course it was published in the local newspaper. I would urge everyone to write to the Tacoma News Tribune referencing this article. Amy, if you can find it, we'll find it for you if you can't find it. But there was a horrible article put out today by him. This man really hates us. He hates me too. But anyway, so we need to write letters to the editor and letters of clarification to the News Tribune, because this account is false and it's defamatory.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that they can turn everything around and make it look like we were there to abuse children when these children acted as terrorists.
Well, they should have been at school.
Yeah. I mean, they should have been at school, or they should at least be taught to, be able to hear women speak. I mean, most of us, the vast majority of us, are middle-aged or older women, so we're hardly a threat to them. We just wanted to come and speak and have our own event. We weren't interested in interacting with them at all.
There we are.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
We got to a traffic light. I turned it around.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, ladies. April, I was saying to the chat, I'm so sorry. I heard everything you said. I couldn't get Lynn's sound to work, so I had to put in the school boards. I had to put in their feed. But I didn't get great sound on that either. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will take their, I'll go to the school board and I'll copy your speech and I'll put your speech up separately, because I want to make sure everyone hears your speech in its entirety. So I'll put that up for you and I'll send you a link and you can put it on Sovereign Women, because I'm so, I was saying to the chat, you know, you created a huge event yesterday. I don't know if everyone knows, April organized that event in Tacoma. She was the organizer. So you put together a massive event yesterday and it was a huge emotional ordeal. And then here you are today again standing up.
Yes,
You
right
know?
after leaving the doctor's
Oh
office.
my Lord. Oh
It's
my
been a
Lord.
day, I'll tell you.
I know. You're getting so much love in the comments, by the way.
Oh, that feels really good. Thank you.
We love you, April.
Oh, that's very
love
sweet.
you.
Thank you.
We're going to take good care of April here in Tacoma. She's got lots of friends here and she's going to be well cared for.
Of course, of course. I know you sisters support each other, so it's so good. Do you think you'll go back? Do you expect that you'll go back again to any other school board meetings, or what do you see as your next steps?
Well, that's a really good question, Amy. I'm really conflicted, you know, with what happened yesterday and the way that they ran us out of there and telling us to go home, go home. You know, of course, part of me just wants to stand my ground because we have that right, a constitutional right to speak, and to be run out like that. You know, part of me wants to go right back there and stand my ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've already done what they've done to me. What more are they going to do to me? I'm sure they could hurt me further and continue to show themselves, and the world needs to see that. And if that's what it's going to take for everybody to open up their eyes, you know, I don't like it, but I am willing to put myself in that position. That's how important it is to me for people to start waking up.
Well, I imagine that this tour is waking American women up, and I hope that we will. I will come out to another event in Tacoma.
Let's do it, Amy. Let's do it.
Let's
do it. I love it. I love
it.
Do it.
That we are not going to let these little punk ass kids. I'm sorry, but seriously, I mean, these are children, for crying out loud. Adults should not have to be in fear of children. What in the world is happening here?
Yeah, I know. Well, friends, everyone, you are watching Organizing in the Making. This is how it happens. Women make agreements amongst themselves to stand up, and then we stand up. That's it's as simple as that. That's what we do. I have questions in the chat, April, about what happened when you filed your police report. What is going to happen with that guy?
Well, he was found immediately because Kat had great video coverage, and so the police were actually able to find him very quickly, and they arrested him and put him in jail. I waited all day for the prosecuting attorney to call me, and they did not. And so I will call them tomorrow to find out what is going on. And I do plan to prosecute him. I do have a broken hand, and you know, I'm back on anti-anxiety medication over all of this as well. So, you know, I don't know exactly, you know, what will happen to him, but I definitely am going to pursue this.
Good. And this is another thing, women in the chat, that we need to make sure we do. If there is an assault, we really must press charges. I know that some women don't love doing that. They don't love dealing with the police themselves, but the reason that we must do this that we must show them that there are consequences for their actions. So we must show them that if they pull something like this, there is a consequence. So I'm really glad that you're moving forward and going to press charges, because first of all, I'm so sorry that that happened. That is insane. And you know, however old this student was, he deserves to be punished. You know, that guy that I, you know, knocked into when I was protecting Lear, you know, he was kind of a skinny guy, but he was coming with such force. Like, you know, I have bruises on my chest because, you know, men have that muscle fiber. I mean, it's not a joke. I mean, even if this, you know, this is a 16-year-old student, he's strong, he is powerful, he broke your hand. I mean, that.
Yes. And Amy, had you not done what you did and he would have taken Lear to the ground, I mean, that would have been one more injured woman. So that was great on your part.
And he was gonna tackle her from behind.
I know it. And that is why I'm pressing charges. You know, these kids, even at the school board meeting tonight, I mean, the whole meeting was on the lack of discipline with these students. So it was just amazing that we showed it was, you know, happened at the same night, the topic. But yeah, that's really part of the problem here, is that the young kids today are so entitled. There's no consequences for their actions. And, you know, adults really need to start holding these children accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, God, it's
children accountable.
And I just okay, so I'm sorry. I have to block someone from my chat.
Oh no, isn't that fun?
Yeah, hold on.
It was probably the woman that was in the meeting this evening that was so happy, clapping her hands that I was injured.
I'm not sure how they knew we were there. It's like, for some reason they knew we were coming, and I'm not sure how they found out, but that was really interesting that they showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Amy, I'm home. Lynn has brought me home, and I'm really need to lay my head down. So if you want to continue with Lynn, thank you very much. I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing.
I really appreciate you too. Thank you. All right. Well, I really thank you, everyone. Thanks for that. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chat today. Thank you for watching. I think, again, every time women stand up to speak, as much as possible, I'll try to cover it. And I really want to say, I encourage everyone, if you didn't already, to watch the live streams live, because hopefully what I'm really trying to do is, Kay Yang and I are really trying to create a community space. So we want the live streams not just to be us documenting, you know, the image. Like, of course you can watch it on Kelly J. Keen's channel. She's amazing, and I don't want to take anything away from her amazing live streams, but we want to do things a little differently. Both are good, but some of the live streams, doesn't. The point is I'm saying things wrong, but I want to create a space where everyone can participate. And that's why we're doing the call-ins. I want to make sure that women can call in and that women have an opportunity to speak, because I know that not everyone can travel to all of these different places. That's not always possible. And, you know, and especially if you work, and especially if you have kids, you know, I mean, jobs that don't allow you to be flexible, because a lot of these events are happening on weekdays. So, you know, coming and participating and calling in, we want to create spaces where everyone can give their 3-minute speech. So before the live stream and after the live stream, Kay Yang and I are doing these call-ins so that you can participate. And also we want to participate with you just in the chats as well. So we want it to be like a watch party where we're all watching and participating together. Yeah, I do. I agree. I think they're complementary. They're complementary, and all of these, everyone should, you know, if you whoever wants to put up these events, you should, you know, at this last event, WLRN covered the event, Sovereign Women Speak covered the event, Kelly J. Keene covered the event, I covered the event with Kay Yang. So, in a way, the more feeds, the better, because it gets it to more audience. It spreads the message. It spreads the audience. And we had many women just there at the event getting their own footage. And the more footage we get, the better too, because a lot of people miss moments. Like I was focused mainly on the speakers, and there were other women there, like Maddie, who we had on the phone today. She had a lot of other amazing footage, you know, that I didn't get because she was a lot more focused on the crowd. So it really is important to have multiple people taking footage. Or for example, in San Francisco, when Kelly J. Keene's feed went out, and Rev Fox was covering the feed, so it was like people had a feed they could go to. So it's really important that multiple people cover these events, and so we're not trying to compete. We're just trying to participate. We're trying to participate. Oh, thank you, Len, for emailing the board. I'm going to put that email up one more time. If people will email in support of women, it's just sickening to me that, you know, we were mostly middle-aged women. I mean, there were, you know, someone said something about disabled. We had disabled women there. There were women who were disabled on those wheeling walker chairs. You know, it's really insane. And these are young, healthy students, you know, and these are also, there was also adult men, Antifa adult men, you know. It was really insane. The police came as we were literally in our cars. So I saw 3 police cars show up after I was already in a car. So it's just, yeah. Okay, so Maddie is okay. She's making sure she wasn't followed. Okay. Ladies, anyway, all right, I am gonna let everyone go, and I want to really thank everyone, Kai and Jennifer and Madeline and everyone who, Spiky Turf, and I'm missing someone. I have a pretty good memory, but not always perfect. But thank you all for your donations today. And I think what I'll do is when I get the equipment, I'll take a picture of it with your donation, so that you can put your face to what you've done. And all I can say is I'm really humbled, and I really appreciate it. And I'm so passionate about this work. I'm really passionate about this activism. I think that we all are. And it's just, it really helps, because unfortunately we are in a situation where we must make our own media. We cannot wait on the left-wing media, nor can we wait on the right-wing media to tell our stories. We have to create our own stories. We have to create our own media. We have to support one another in that. So I really I want to do it better and better. So I really am humbled for you helping me to do that. I really appreciate it. All right. Well, I appreciate you all today, and I will see you very shortly. This Saturday we have coming up the events on Saturday. Is it on the 28th and the 29th? Now I'm forgetting. Let's see. I'm going to just double check. We have I want to just get it right for you. Yes, so the 28th we have Austin, and the 29th we have Chicago. Kelly J. Keene herself announced that we do have security for Austin. And so I think I can also announce that there will also be security in Chicago. So we are doing it better. Every time we get better and better. Every time we do this, we get better. And we're not going to put up with this violence against women. Women say no, we're not putting up with it. It is the 30th. Chicago is the 30th. Chicago is the 30th, and Austin is the 29th. I hope I got that right. All right. I really adore you all. Thank you all so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.